When my father Ramses II reconquered the Sinai Peninsula, he made two things clear. First, our empire is built upon the stone and bronze found there. And second, we must never let it slip from our grasp again. Ramses, son of Setnacht, is yet to cut his lock of youth, yet his martial skill and leadership surpass that of men twice his age. He guards the Sinai Peninsula at my behest, leading his loyal Magi against all who would threaten our people. One such threat descends from the north, where the rebellious Canaanites are a constant thorn in my side. However, Ramses has stamped out their defiance at every turn. He accrues victories with ease, and his pride grows with every triumph. Such arrogance is not unfounded. The boy has wreathed himself in glory, anointing his khopesh in the blood of Egypt's enemies. Yet, I worry for the royalty that runs in his veins. When he inevitably seeks the throne of Egypt, will the gods help him grasp it? He claims to bear divine favor, and even I cannot deny an air of destiny surrounds him. Perhaps the gods call on young Ramses to match the greatness of his namesake, and one day roll over all of Egypt. Ramses, I'm sure, believes so. When I ascended to the throne of Egypt, I did so as but one of countless sons. Even so, my father, Ramses the Great, was untroubled choosing his heirs. Now I often wonder if his certainty was an illusion. My son, Seti, is a proud and formidable warrior, the very image of a mighty pharaoh to be. I've given him land on the bridge between Lower and Upper Egypt. Should the fires of insurrection ignite there, he would stamp it out with ruthless aggression. Yet I cannot deny his nature is as brutal as his strength. Such recklessness pervades his every action, and he cares nothing for the priests and peasants he will one day rule. I can only hope his marriage to Tausret will soothe his callous rage. His love for her is unquestionable, and her calm wisdom may yet succeed in keeping his temper in check. If only the gods would send me a sign. Have I chosen an heir that will bolster our empire's might, leading his people to glory? Or will his arrogance and disregard bring us to ruin and drown all of Egypt in blood? A capable wife has been the boon of any great pharaoh, and there has been no pharaoh greater than my father. He accrued many brides, yet in wisdom and competence, not one of them was the equal of Seti's wife, Tausret. Seti is an exemplary warrior, yet the subtleties of governance continue to elude him. Tausret, however, knows when to use diplomacy with her neighbors and when to stamp out potential rebels. I do not doubt that under her guiding hand, our empire will extend its grip towards the hidden riches in the deserts. She rules over the Nile's first cataract most capably, ushering peace into southern Egypt, once consumed by rebellion. However, should the fortunes of our kingdom begin to wane and my chosen heir Seti fails to lead our people, she would not hesitate to snatch the crown from the hands of the unworthy. The Viceroy of Kush takes care of Nubian and Kushite territories. He makes sure their mines sustain the wealth of Egypt and keeps the unruly warriors under the pharaoh's heel. It is a proud and distinguished title bestowed upon worthy men. My son Amen-Mes disagrees. I granted him dominion over our lands to the south, full of riches, and free for him to barter with or conquer. Yet all I receive in return is bitterness and resentment. The more his wealth and influence grows, the more dangerous he becomes. Amen-Mes has no love for his brother Seti and his wife Tauzret. He could stake his claim as a prince of Egypt by challenging his brother for the throne. Perhaps it was a mistake to send him so far from my oversight. Or perhaps his fortune is a message from great Amun. Could it be that one day this gold-kissed son of Egypt is destined to trade the title of Viceroy for the divine role of Pharaoh? Canaan is a wild and savage place, filled with the lost and helpless, begging for Egypt's succor. Instead, Egypt's trade suffers raiding and rebellion at the hands of sadistic warlords, eager to spit on my kindness. Now I hear rumor of one more brutal than any other, a rising threat by the name of Irsu. It is said he thrives on disorder and thirsts only for battle. Instead of letting him sack and pillage the southern Canaanite towns that bring him closer to Egypt, perhaps such a beast could be tamed and directed towards the lands of Hatti to the north. He cannot be allowed to gain too much power, for his whims may bring him to the heart of Egypt, to wreak ravage and ruin upon my throne. The Canaanites to the north are little more than barbarians, desperately clinging to the goodwill of my empire and the trade that Egypt brings to their shores. My liaison Bey works to pacify his feral countrymen. Though Canaanite by birth, he's practically Egyptian in his learning and civility. His letters read like poetry, sharing wisdom with eloquence and making him proficient in diplomacy with his neighbors. But I'm no fool. His charming politesse is but the grass that hides a venomous snake, poised and ready to strike. Is Bey a gift from the gods, or is he the hidden dagger waiting to be plunged into Egypt's back? Hatti is a weak and broken land, left vanquished by the might of Ramses the Great. Now a dark cloud hangs over Hatti, and the land lies fractured. Shupil-Yuma, son of King Tugalia IV, is all that holds Hattusha together, but fate seems set against him. Though he's surrounded by kin, the Hittites are a fickle and treacherous people. Shupil-Yuma may be the single exception, but the same cannot be said of his neighbors. Lurking far to the south is the most treacherous threat of all, the follower of the stag god who will stop at nothing to see Hattusha crumble. And that is not the only threat that rears its head. Jealous tribes exist in every kingdom, sowing discord at every opportunity. As the Libu rise against Egypt, so do the Phrygians rise against Hattusha, all while Shupil-Yuma fights valiantly to save the lives of his people. I can sympathize with a ruler who must reclaim his ravaged land, desolate from Kaskian attacks. A man who values peace and diplomacy is a rare thing indeed. One who rules through a firm but fair hand, even more so. The Hittites are lost in darkness, desperately grasping for a way out of their misery. At the heart of that darkness lies the ruler of Tarhuntasha, Kurunta, whose greed, jealousy, and cunning continues to tear Hati apart. Even though he is heir to High King Muatali, Kurunta was passed over for the throne. His resentment has spurred him to vengeance, and his Hati neighbors pay the price. Perhaps he can rise to power by rallying the surrounding Hittite lords, or perhaps he simply feeds on disarray, proving as likely to burn all of Hati to the ground. The Isle of Cyprus lies near, filled with bronze, ripe for the taking. Kurunta's lust for power may drive him to their shores, and should he seize control of the resources there, he would become a threat to all of Anatolia, and possibly Egypt as well. Hati is already doomed. The Phrygians sharpen their blades, just awaiting the opportunity to carve the land asunder. Yet Kurunta is not one to be ignored, for his vengeance may bring ruin to us all, casting the whole world into the dark.